This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Seriously, Dad?
Seriously, Dad? Two father comedians out of Philadelphia. Seriously, Dad?
Dad? Seriously?
Dad?
Seriously? Seriously?
Yo, welcome back. Season 2, Seriously Dad.
Hey,
There they are. The Seriously Dad. We are so seriously dead right now.
We are.
What's up?
My daughter's so obsessed with our. I caught her. She's like, Daddy, how do you spell seriously? And she's on YouTube, like putting in our thing.
Nice.
She was asking me nonstop on this. She's like, "Are you recording your podcast today?" She's like, "Is my voice in the opening?" I'm like, "Oh, what's your favorite episode?" She's like, "Why don't you have any girls on it?" And I was like, "We did." She's like, "Oh yeah, I like the Mother's Day episode."
Nice.
And then she said she liked the Father's Day episode because her grandfather was in it.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a fan. We have
So at least one of our views is coming from my daughter.
Yeah.
She's been on, and we'll be out. I was at the gym the other day. I brought her with me, and she's like, "Dad, are you recording your podcast this week?" She's obsessed with it. So
good. There you go. Thank
She's
you.
a good hype person.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we got. I don't like when I start seeing football on TV because I know that summer's about done. I'm gonna be honest.
I did. Do you do fantasy?
No, no, bro. You. How well do you know me? Could you imagine me trying to pick a starting lineup by a certain time and keep up with all that shit? Could you? I'd still have Emmitt Smith in the game. I'm so fucking.
I went last night to a coach. I used to coach with all these guys. I'm still in this league. I've been in forever, but I'm like the guy that goes to the poker table, doesn't really know what he's doing, but he's dangerous enough. And like, I'm sitting there the whole time, like waiting for my pick. And honestly, I don't know what I'm doing. They're like, "Oh yeah, Diggs, his secondary is crazy." I'm like, how do you know that? I don't even have time to know that. And like, all I do is I look for where the top picks are, and I go like 2 or 3 down, and then I pick one of those, so it's not me just picking the top one.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I pick ones that are like teams I'm gonna want to watch. Like I like watching the Eagles, or
okay.
I'll grab. I think I grabbed Antonio Brown. So like I just
okay.
But
so you're getting by.
At the end, you get a grade at the end. I got a B
on your draft,
and yeah, I got a B. There were a bunch of people that got C's, so.
And you'll probably do pretty well. Middle of the pack all the way around is better than having highs and lows, isn't it? I would.
Yeah, I just feel so out of whack. But I'm like, well, listen, all these.
I used to hate watching. Like I was always cool watching a football game with someone. Like we sit down, we drink a couple beer, whatever. We watch a football game, right? I used to do a decent amount of that when I was younger. But then you start watching games with people. They had their cell phone in this hand, they had a tablet here, and they're watching 2 other screens over there, and it just becomes this ping pong of like.
It's too much.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, and you're like, what happened? And they're talking about some game. You're watching this game, and they're red zone and all that bullshit. I'm done. I
can't. Yeah, that's like the guy in the Matrix. He's like, he doesn't even. I just, they see the zeros and ones.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that.
I can't do all of that. But like, I do like watching. Like the Notre Dame game was on while they were playing. Who were they playing? They were playing. Big sports guy here. You're looking at a big sports guy. They're playing another team with they all had helmets on, so it's football.
Okay, all right.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Was it Texas A&M? Was it Texas A&M?
That's who it was.
Okay, that's probably.
And it was actually a pretty good game. We stayed for the whole game, and then Notre Dame ended up winning. But I mean, I love watching athleticism. I know what good you can see. I don't need to know if they're in a nickel package.
I like a good sports competition.
Yeah,
but I don't need to know that you got X amount of yards after the catch. I don't need to know all that, man.
I always thought my dad card would get revoked because of that, and who knew? You could sit here and drink, hard seltzers and
not watch football
and
use it in there.
Yeah, but hey, I did the fantasy, but you're right. It means the end of summer. You guys, do any last minute getaway or anything?
Oh, the king of last minute get. I don't know if it's a king because we had a shoot. We did a family photo shoot in the Poconos at a really fun place for a kid. Me, my wife, and the little ones, and we brought grandma. We brought their grandmother with because there's a set involved, and you got to work, and not everyone can watch the kids. So we go out. Grandma, she had a blast. The girls had a blast. We had a blast. Everyone's getting paid. We worked, and then we went to the water park, and then we worked, and we went to we laser tag. We worked, and then we climbed the wall. It was perfect. They got to stay in a hotel room. Kids love hotel rooms.
It can't be
the most exciting thing.
With a fridge and a microwave, or just
we had a safe in there too, bro.
Wow.
Little kid sees a safe. She's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" So it was perfect. It was awesome, man. I mean, indoor water parks. I'm probably good for the next few years. I think I'm cool.
We went to Camelback in the Poconos. Is that where?
Yeah.
I did a gig somewhere out there in like Nazareth or Bethlehem, and we just made it like a little weekend, and we went up there.
It's cool, right?
And it was great. Yeah, we did 2 days there. It was fun. I mean, it's expensive. Like, so it was good that you were able to weave it into to work, because it's expensive. Because we did Camelback as well. But I mean, what a great opportunity, and that's cool for them to get to see, to be on set, and they get to do what you do, and they get to
and they'll get to see themselves on the thing. On an advertisement when it comes out, and they get paid. They're definitely going to get paid more money than they've ever made in their lives.
That's right. Are you gonna take that? And
I'm skipping off the top. I'm straight. Just the worst manager. I was gonna say Ike Turner, but that's like not the right name to use. But like the sleep Don King. I'm at Don King in that shit. There you go.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you did what, one night, 2 nights there?
Two nights. So we went there. So 2.5 days pretty much, because we hung out half a day and then the last day and did some stuff, and then we went home.
Were they cool with the work part of it?
They loved it. They loved it. They had a lot of fun. It was really cool. The youngest got a little moody. The crew, amazing. Like they all had kids. And before we went, I was like, listen, I don't want to come out here, bring my little ones, and have someone like bossing someone around or telling them they can't go here, they can't go there. Like he's like, oh, absolutely not. I have 2 kids. We're not about that at all. No pressure on the little ones, especially the youngest, because there's times she got moody, and they were like, okay, cool, we'll pivot, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was it. There was I didn't have to negotiate. No one rolled their eyes at me. No one all right, we'll pivot, and that was the most important thing, is that I wasn't just bringing them into this world that can be kind of can be fucked up. This was not fucked up at all, but can be. And I wasn't going to be starting surrounding with fucked up people. You know what I'm saying?
You hear the horror stories all the time of the people who got pushed into whether it was child acting or modeling or whatever. And
90% of those stories don't end well. 90% of those stories do not end well.
I watch Dance Moms. I know.
I know. We some
JoJo
people make it in the start.
That was JoJo Siwa's life for the.
She was on that dance stuff. Is that where she's from? She's a dance.
She started
mom?
from Dance Moms. Yeah, she was in Dance Moms and took
incredibly
off.
Popular right now. This JoJo Siwa, incredibly popular.
Well, since she reinvented herself as she became, out, and she's now out as a lesbian, and she's. Okay. I don't know. She's not she's definitely gotten. You don't hear as much about her. I mean, T Swift. T
Swift's still on the right. Yeah, she's it. Her and Beyonce, right? They're probably the most biggest female artists, probably the biggest artists in the world.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Swift. What a mark that girl's like.
Oh, she's making money hand over fist. She's just killing it out there.
It's got to be so hard to just exist in this world if you're Taylor Swift.
I would agree with that. But you want to know something about Taylor Swift? My girls are not Swifties anymore because they're starting to feel like all her music sounds the same.
Oh,
and I didn't tell them that. I kind of like that they felt that way, and that they. There's another girl now. What? Oh, jeez, I don't know their names.
There's this
a Spanish girl. Is there like a? I don't know.
Chapel Roan Chapel. There's another one that
I don't know, but they're on to her now. They're on to her now because
we're still hardcore Taylor Swifties.
Yeah,
yeah.
Taylor needs all the fans she can get.
Yeah. Last night when I was at the fantasy draft, my daughter was like, "You have to pick up Taylor Swift's boyfriend." I tried to get Travis Kelce, but he got picked up right before. I was like the last pick, so I got like 2 in a row. I always got 2 picks in a row, but he got picked up right before.
See,
I was going to grab him and Jalen Hurts, boom, boom, real early, but I didn't get it.
It happens. Now, what about you? I know you got some summer stuff. I know. Let's roll it out.
Yeah, I was away for a little bit with the board teachers group and did some shows out in the Midwest, I think.
Yeah, some sketches. A couple sketches out there.
That was
maybe
fun.
one, but I said a couple.
Sketches were so much fun. I ad-libbed a couple things that ended up being really funny, and now before the show, they show one of the sketches that I was in.
Nice.
So now, before every show, anybody who goes to a board teacher show
sees
sees the sketch. Yeah. And the one they did it was like a PD session where it's like, imagine a PD session that was run by teachers, and it was like they were giving out wine and edibles at the table.
Yeah. What's PD?
Professional development.
That's the one where the girl was drinking the wine. Am I allowed to say that? Drinking the wine out of the bottle. And was like,
they cut out the edible part.
I could see that.
But like we had acted it with the edibles because, and then we were supposed to, they were like, oh, then they were just playing off of all the things that are the typical tropes of professional development teachers. And so it was fun. So they're like, oh, we're going to do an icebreaker, but we're supposed to do an hour-long icebreaker, but instead everybody just at the same time say something unique about them. And then it's all of us talking, and then it goes to each of us singularly. And I'm just like looking at the wine glass, and I'm like, I'm not even certified to teach. And it was just like, just finding some fun lines. It was so cool. I enjoyed it. We had a blast. I got paid.
Yeah, they're fun.
That was sort of a nice, we were down in Florida then. So me doing that day of 4.5 hours of shooting paid for our Airbnb for the week in Florida. So I was like,
so you kind of very similar to what
you very similar. I was like, yeah. So it was and I didn't know that was happening. Like I was literally down in Florida. I texted one of the guys.
You just were like, hey, what's up?
I was just reminiscing with him because he and I had gone when I went down in December to shoot the podcast. We went to Disney. And he and I walked way too much. He had never been, and we put on 30,000 steps. Nice. And so I was leaving Epcot thinking, and I texted him, I'm like, yo, I'm leaving Epcot, but this time I can walk much better. And he's like, oh, you're in Florida. And then, so it was like a random thing that happened. I was grateful.
Usually usually the best stuff happens without a plan.
Yeah. So I just like it that we can do that. That's the beauty of, what we're doing.
Making this thing work. If you can make it work.
That's what's cool. That's the thing for me. That's kind of like, hey, keep pursuing it. Keep doing what you're doing with, no matter how much sometimes things seem like a long shot or seem like whatever.
There's something yeah.
I just went through to semifinals for Lehigh Valley's.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Nice. Well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was cool. So that's been good. Yeah. So things are going well. We just got a dog. So today, and I don't even know if that happened, dude. If you talked to me 4 days ago, I'd have been like, oh, we're never getting a dog. What are you talking about?
So did someone just at some point, was it like, Dad, can we have a dog? And they all looked at you, and then you had to be like, fuck.
My wife's the queen of tagging me and stuff whenever there's hey, there's a puppy that needs a home. She'll tag me on Facebook, whatever. Yeah. And I'll always just ignore it, whatever. But there was an email that her supervisor sent that was a dog in her neighborhood. And basically, a woman had passed away, so the adult children got it for their father. Father wasn't doing so well with it, had it for about 1.5 years, just wasn't meshing, wasn't able to care for it like it needed. And one of the families in the neighborhood, who's neighbors with my wife's supervisor, had taken it in over the last 4 or 5 months, but they have a 5-year-old lab to an older dog, and it was just the quality of life of their original dog. They loved this dog. They were in my house today crying while they were passing the baton as they were concerned. And I'm just like,
that would have messed with me a little bit.
It was so awkward. I don't know these people well. I met them yesterday in their lawn when we hung out and met the dog.
Did you handed him tissue? We're going to take great care.
He asked for a paper towel, so I got him.
We're going to take great care. Here's your paper towel, and we'll
both of them. The dude and him.
Make these promises. I will send you pictures.
And these are the sweetest people.
Yeah,
But that's exact. So all day I've been texting them. I'm like, hey, we're at the dog park because my yard isn't fenced in yet, and they were worried that he wasn't. They know he loved to run out every day.
All right, now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a real question. Yeah. You're hanging out, living life, everything's good. The Yoder house is peaceful, and then you start getting visits from people being like, "Hey, I want to see the dog," unannounced, just knocking on the door, like, "Hi, we're here to see the dog." How many times could that happen before you were like, "Hold on"?
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't know if my wife's family might come by but we haven't had. I will say this: we took them out for 3 walks in the neighborhood today. It was really. I felt like I walk this neighborhood every morning. I've walked with my girls during COVID. Nobody's ever. I've gotten more neighbors now that are talking to me because I'm walking with a dog.
Oh
than ever before.
Yeah, the dogs.
And I like that. And our dog, oh my God, she was so great. I was so nervous to take her for a walk because I didn't know what it was going to be like or whatever. If other dogs are coming, she didn't even
Oh,
bark.
how she was going to act when the other dogs start walking.
Didn't bark.
Yeah,
Even if they were barking, she didn't bark. I will say there was this one dog just like an hour ago. This woman has a belt and 3 dachshunds coming off of her belt.
Like
it's
in
the
Ghostbusters.
weirdest thing. She's wearing the leash around her waist.
Remember that scene in Ghostbusters where the minx turns into minx and then starts running and is dragging the lady? Whenever I see those, that's what I think about.
It's so weird, but those dogs are the devil. Because even for me, they would always bark. Because she walks by our house all the time.
I fucking hate little dogs.
So the 3 dachshunds got to Summer because she got up at one point, and I'm like,
did the hair on the back come up, and that hair comes up.
58-pound dog. Now we have one of those. It's like humane thing. It's one of those ones that's. It like pulls into her, kind of like how her mother would have grabbed her to bring her back.
Like cinches when she pulls.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we had that on her.
You never know. They just tell you, "Hey, this is the best one," and you go, "Okay, I take your word for it."
Yeah. So
I guess this is what you do. I don't know one way or the other.
But she was good. It was short lived. She sits on command. She's been really great. But so we got the dog, and
you think the dog. Realistically, do you think the dog's going to add a level of like responsibility and stuff to your kids? Because I know a lot of people who get dogs. Yeah, because I know a lot of people who get dogs are like, she's going to feed her every morning and every night, and she's going to walk her twice a day. And it's like 3 days later, the dog is the kid has no interest in the dog, and now
we'll stay tuned, right?
Yeah,
I will say so far today, day one, awesome, really attentive and. Great. So I think I already have a call out to 2 fence people. We're going to get a dog fence put in our front yard because ultimately, like in the winter, that's what I hit her with today. I'm like, well, in the winter, we were going to be out doing this. She's like, in the winter? I'm like, what, you think the dog's just not going to want to go outside?
Yeah.
So we're going to get a dog fence put in ASAP.
And the front
and
part
at least we can like get out and put her out. And even if it's cold, at least I can go put her out. And
how tall is a fence in the front? A dog fence in the front of the house? 6 feet?
I would say it's probably it's probably 4 or 5 feet.
So from the sidewalk, they're not going to really be able to see. Well, they'll be able to see your door.
I don't think. I think it doesn't. I think the lats it'll probably have.
So you can see through.
They can see through, but they won't be able to like fit through.
Okay.
Because she's a big dog, so it's like you could have.
It's enough just to be okay, and she's not going to jump over that fence.
Well, that's the other thing, right? You don't want to be able to skip over the fence.
Oh, it's got some hops. I think I get a
We're also going to do classes, obedience classes, and she seems really docile. Like she's really mellow. We haven't had any issues so far today. So, I don't know. It feels like she's been with us, and we took her in the car, drove to a dog park. She was great in the car.
Dogs are fun. Dogs are great. I think it's good you didn't get a puppy. I think having a 2-year-old dog or year and a half, I'm assuming. Goodness. I think that's the way to go. If you bring a puppy into a fucking house, good luck. Good luck. Like your shit will be ruined.
Right. That would have been a nightmare. Somebody's like have another kid at that point,
Yeah. Another kid that the other kids kind of hate. Like it's not even like having just another kid. Like it's so bad. Getting a puppy that's good job for you.
What a dream now, because I finally found something to get my girls to not leave their toys lying around.
See, so now that's a level of responsibility. That's a level of responsibility.
So it's like, now it's like we just shut all the doors to the rooms, and then she's got full run of the kitchen, the hall, the living room, dining room combo. That's just her world.
Just running.
And we didn't even I just have like a suitcase in front of the upstairs. She hasn't tried yet to go upstairs, but we might have to put like an actual gate in there. But the upstairs one, my daughter, my oldest, is up there. And I will say, Alicia, with the autism and her like desensitized to it, she's very hypersensitive. She loved the idea of a dog, but like she had to like excuse herself at first because it was just too much energy for her. But she came on the walk with us. She came on one of the walks with us today. It was great. And she, petted her. She was all excited about petting her. And she's saying such positive things about her. But she's like, oh, Summer's such a nice dog. Okay, I'm going to go back in the bedroom now. She's like, she loves the idea of it. And she's going to get desensitized. I think for her, it's going to be huge because we would trick or treat, and there were some houses that have dogs. She wouldn't go within 10 feet of the door.
Oh yeah, well now she's gonna learn today.
So I think
right?
this is going to give her the reps she needs to get desensitized to that in general. So
I would agree with that.
I'm excited for her. They were a little nervous. I think the people who left her were a little nervous. They're like, "Oh, well, we hope your older daughter." I'm like, "She'll be fine. She'll be great.
Relax, motherfucker. We're good.
She just needs time." Like they were so sweet. They really were, and they had a lot of
being hard on them.
But like, but I get it, and I felt judged because I was like, dude, because like, listen. I have like my shrubs I haven't like pruned and they're like got little things going. Like I don't like I saw their yard. Their yard was nicely manicured. And I'm like, listen, my yard's mowed, all of that, but all of the like edging and stuff like around the house, like I don't do that shit.
And then you got embarrassed, and then they showed up, and you're like, "Fuck, I didn't edge."
And I'm like,
"Yeah,
I know they pulled up and they're
a
like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But like the yards, I have a high school kid that comes and does my yard every week. So like the grass and all that's on point where the dog's gonna be hanging out. But like, we're trying to get we want to get rid of stuff. We want to like have concrete poured down and have it like along the house be like a patio area.
That's a better way.
Instead of like mulch beds. Like, dude, I'm not spending time mulching. Like, it's just not.
Fuck mulch.
I'm not doing that, and I'm not paying somebody every year
to
come and mulch. I'll pay somebody one time to get rid of it and like pour concrete.
Yeah, that's that bougie life. That's that bougie bourbon shit.
I was a renter my whole life. I'm not about that life. I can't do it. But,
so we got. I mean, I don't know when this comes out, but we got. I would say it's a big year for This is a big year for Lainey for going back to school.
What grade? Fourth?
Third. This is because they're starting to be a little more human. They're starting to have personalities. They're starting to gravitate towards friends. Because they used to everyone would just hang out, and everyone would but now they're starting to like this person better than this person, and this person's that, and I like this sport, and she likes that sport. So it's very interesting. We had a soccer tournament this weekend. Oh my God, 3 games. Got our asses kicked. We were playing some good girls. Like we were watching the other team, and they knew how to play soccer. All of them, and they were killing us. But
at that age, that's where it separates. Like, because every team had one person knows how to play.
Yeah, now it's like, well, this is like also a travel team, so it's all the good kids from the area, and they know how to play ball. They know how to play soccer, and they a couple times were murdering us with their ball movement. So we'll see what happens. But this year, I hope it works out well.
And she hasn't started yet because you guys are after Labor Day.
Yeah, after Labor Day. Yeah.
I mean, by the time people are watching this, she started.
She'll have started. Yeah,
we started last Monday. We started the 26th. We had a 5-day. We already had 5 days of school.
Now, do you like that you work in school? So as an employee, do you like that you start and then get a long weekend the first weekend, or would you rather start after a long weekend?
I much like the 4-day week. First week being a 4-day week.
Okay.
I like that a lot. This was the first time it was 5 days. Oof, that 5th day. Now, for me, it's a little different this year because I'm teaching part-time.
You're not there the entire time.
I'm 60%. So,
you got a lot of time.
I don't start my first classes until 12:22.
Wow. That's pretty good.
And I teach 3 in a row till 2:45.
And then you roll out.
And then 3 o'clock, I'm coming.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Now technically I'd start work at like 10:30 or whatever, but like because of my having to be there to prep.
You have to be there.
Whatever. Yeah. But like I don't actually start teaching till 12:22.
I mean, that'll be a big year for you, giving you some free time, right?
I love it, honestly, because it's like the morning. I just wake up and worry about getting the girls, and the girls are like, they're 30.
So now you're full court. You're single. You're by yourself in the morning doing full court everything.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah, because my mom doesn't live with us anymore. Amanda's out of the house before
she just does what she has to do to go to work and do her thing.
Yep.
And then
she makes sure the girls. She makes sure the lunches, even if they're not made, like everything's pretty much organized. And then maybe I have to make a sandwich and throw in it or something like that. So that way, I just take care of breakfast, get them dressed.
And then they're out of the house by 8 o'clock.
And then 8:31, their bus comes. They start at 9 o'clock. We started a half hour later this year, so our high school starts at 8. Our elementary starts at 9.
What's the biggest thing every morning that you have to do? Like, what's the biggest fight every morning? Is there a consistent problem you still have with the girls? Hair is, I've heard from many fathers, a big issue.
It's the getting them to stop watching their cartoons for a second to go, or you say hey, it's go get dressed, and I'm back on my computer or having coffee, and I look over, and it's been 3 minutes, and she hasn't moved from the couch, and I'm like, wait a second, the last we talked, you were going to get dressed, and here you are. But I will say, even if I have to redirect them, but it's the hair because like my oldest, hers is so thick. And so, I try to get her to do it before she goes to bed at night to make it, but the way she sleeps.
Have you been sending them to school jacked up? Have you accidentally sent them jacked up?
No.
Have you? Because you also work at the school, right, Albert? So he
yeah.
moves down.
I don't work.
I
I feel a responsibility to make sure that when they leave the house, like the one time, like I did their hair and then we got out waiting for the bus, and I'm like, I don't like that. So like I ran back in, got a brush, and was like doing it again in the driveway.
Sure.
Do you have?
Because then I realized I got to put like a little spray in it.
Do you have like? Are you like good with hair? Like, can you do things?
I'm proficient, but
you can braid. You can do like
no.
You can't braid. Okay, I can braid hair.
I can braid.
But I
don't even have kids. That's creepy.
Yeah,
right. I will say this. So Friday it was cheer day. So my youngest, both my daughters cheerlead, but my youngest was allowed to wear her uniform to school. And so my wife sent me a tutorial via Facebook Messenger on how to put a cheer bow in her hair.
Whoa.
So like I'm in the morning, like having my coffee on my phone, watching this video, holding the cheer thing, and then looking at her. And it wasn't that hard. I got it done.
Okay.
But like I was nervous that there was a level of difficulty I wasn't going to reach.
So wait, so what's your go-to move? You put just like you a ponytail guy?
So
you do
normally I can get them to wear it down and then just put the little clips on the side to keep the hair out of their face.
Okay.
Or I can do a simple pony and then same thing. That's but yeah, usually like simple pony and then the clips on the side to keep it out of their face. Done. And then nothing fancy. I'm not doing anything crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can braid hair, but my daughters are never like, "Hey, Dad, braid my hair today." Like it doesn't work. You know what I mean? Yeah, like it's just this thing I can do because I had a sister. That's why I can braid hair.
Same thing here.
And they're great. Like I get them up. I make them breakfast. They watch cartoons. After they have breakfast, then it's like, all right, close. And I basically keep my snooze on the phone. So every 9 minutes. Then it's like, oh, okay. Are they dressed now? Okay.
Oh, that's like your checkpoint.
Okay, deodorant.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You're doing like a trial run.
Your checkpoint.
You got to hand them the time every 9 minutes.
Yeah, every 9 minutes. And because then we don't, we wake up an hour and 10 minutes before they have to be out for the bus. So,
honey, we only have 9 more 9 minute sections. We gotta go.
But they've been a dream because they're old enough now. They pretty much do everything on their own.
Yeah,
they even start brushing their hair on their own, and then I get
right.
They
well,
inevitably don't get the
question
back.
For you, girl dads, and I know obviously the moms, excluding the moms, being there, or somebody else who knows more about hair. Are you going to start? We're starting to hit the ages, especially with you, Albert, where it's like they might want to say. They want to be able to be like, I want my hair away.
Oh,
have you been hitting that? Like, have you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lainey does not want anyone to touch her hair. She's very extremely tender-headed. She hates when people touch her hair.
But style-wise,
I let them do what they want to do.
They're just doing.
I've always let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So Amanda, if that steps in, what happens is Amanda will like do their hair. Like sometimes it's been like double braids or something.
Just kind of like you would hit a protocol, like a button. If that happens, we hit a protocol button. Yeah.
They'll do it at night, and then they just have to sleep with it in.
Right.
And
an alarm goes off. Yeah. A request goes out to your wife.
It's just not happening.
Outlook message. Outlook sent to the wife.
But then, I get them on the bus, and I get to go like take a walk, and now I'll be taking the dog for a walk. I put in a podcast.
Oh man, dude, you drink coffee while you walk too? Are you one of those guys?
I have a cup. Basically, I have a cup before I take them while they're getting ready, and I'm just waking up. And then sometimes when I come back from the walk, I'll have it with breakfast. Yeah. Because then I'll make my breakfast, and then I'll answer emails or do whatever. And then I have a couple hours just to do stuff. So I feel like a normal human. And then I just go in and I just teach 3 sections of Spanish 1. Boom, boom, boom. But I got like 28 kids in every class. Is that
big? 28 big?
It's a lot. It's just a lot of students because you're thinking about just you can't really have them move around the room or do fun activity. Like sometimes I'll have them move around and find somebody who has this color hair, or they'll have to go talk to each other. It's just hard to manage because if I have 14 pairs going on at once, how do I rotate around to 14 different pairs, make sure they're all on task, make sure they're getting what they need. Like inevitably 13 of them are goofing off while I'm working with one. Like,
Oh yeah, they're goofing off all the
too much to
time.
manage and have them do fun activities. So it's a yeah, you gotta kind of, it makes it a little bit more challenging.
But see, I stopped putting a lot of pressure on teachers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really lowered the bar for teachers. Like, I don't know if you guys I don't know if teachers like hearing that as a parent or not. Like, I used to expect more. I trust you enough. I used to expect more. Now,
yeah, I trust you enough, whatever.
Now I just want like I gauge like the improvement. I just want to see improvement. I want to see like a decent improvement of what they are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's got to be so goddamn annoying to like. It's probably a very tough job. I'm sure it is a tough job, but like,
it's different. Like, elementary, it's like, you know what, they keep the classes. They try to keep the class around low 20s, 22, 23 if they can. But then you have those kids all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, whereas I have the kids for like 45 minutes, and then I got a new crop of 28 coming in, and then I'm in 3 different rooms. So I don't even stay in the same room. So I have to like leave with the kids, go to the next room, set my whole show up again, just plug my laptop in. And
now why do you have to? I mean, the kids, they change classes.
So yeah, but because so this, my school, just for some reason, if you've been there for 20 years like I have, they still don't treat you with the amount of respect you deserve. Like, I should be in one room, but they logistically said they couldn't find one room that I could stay in because I'm not full time. So because I dropped,
so they're upset with you. They don't like that, huh?
Yeah, they're a little pissy. But you know what? So what? Like, I had applied for a job that I'd really wanted, and I didn't get it, which is fine. But so now, then my mom was having some health issues, so I was like, maybe this is the perfect opportunity to be available in the mornings to help her. They were cool enough. The superintendent was cool enough to allow me to do that, and so I did that. And so, but they weren't going out of their way to get me set up, which, whatever.
They were a little angry at you.
I don't know if they were angry. There was no word said about it. But
it seems like a passive aggressive move. 20 years is a long time.
Like I feel both ends are being very passive. I'm very passive. But right. I've been there a long time, and I'm good at what I do. So I think they're leaving me alone, and I'm doing my job, and we're where we are.
Yeah, I think it sounds like
I'm happy to have the mornings off. I don't know if it'll last past this year, but
that's what you're doing now. That's what it is now, man. That's
I'm loving it. And so so the back to school. We've been back a week. It's good. The kids. I was thinking about this, like, because I have to have the kids put their the phones in the. I told the kids I have 2 rules. One, cell phones have to go in the cubby. They have these like little, almost like a shoe holder over a door, and they like have where they can pop their cell phones in. There's like 30 spaces. And then the second rule was just respect yourself, respect the property, respect
a good one.
Everybody in the room, because everything else falls under that umbrella.
So I have a really good question for you. Please answer honestly. Do you feel like, and Neil, I'm curious how you felt in on this. Do you feel like the school building is a very, very positive place, a neutral place, or is it a little bit more on the negative side? Like collective energy and vibe, like everything about that building, that school. Where would you rank it? Because for me, it was a negative experience.
I think now more than ever, the morale is down. I mean, unless you're talking like sports teams and like extracurriculars, maybe there's like good energy. But like
it's pretty negative.
On a whole, I think most people are kind of like teachers and students, like. The students are angry about rules and not having their cell phones. Yeah. Teachers are angry because they have 3 master's degrees and all they get to do is make sure kids don't vape in bathrooms all day.
Right. Like why, Neil, sorry to cut you off. Neil, what did you think of school? Was it like a positive, neutral, or negative place for you? Proton, neutron, or electron?
I mean, so right. I would say it was. I went to a couple, so I had to move around. We kind of moved every 4 years.
Nice.
Jay knows about that a little bit as well. Just trying to, you never really feel, you just start to make friends and then you move. So I would say it was negative to neutral later on.
Now, what percentage of people? I have a question for Jay.
What percentage? As a student, I like school. I thought I had a great experience. And even though I switched, like I found it exciting when I got to switch a little bit because it was like a new chance to reinvent myself or be a little different. Yeah, but But like, but I think nowadays, I mean, my girls love it. Like, don't get me wrong, like they're chomping at the bit to get on the bus every day. And, we had one day where Katie was like, she didn't want to go to school. And I asked her why. And it was because there was going to be a fire drill and the alarm was going to scare her. Whatever.
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing you just said, because when we were at Camelback, the fire alarm went off. My girls got very, very scared. Very, 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 very scared. I was like, whoa. Like me and Lainey were at the restaurant. Skylar and Sammy were upstairs with the grandma, and there was a door right behind us. And we're eating, and it's like beep, beep, beep. And I assumed, and maybe I shouldn't, I assumed that someone had just pulled the fire alarm, which is what it was. And there was a door right behind it. So if shit went down, we could have hopped out.
Yeah,
Lainey was like really, really scared. And she was very scared for her sister and her grandmother. And like, I don't know how fire drills work in school, but they really have them convinced that not convinced. Fire is a very, very bad thing. They've really hammered it home that fire is a bad thing.
Yeah, they said they got out so she was not as nervous because the principal, instead of pulling the alarm or whatever, he came over the loudspeaker and initiated it on the first week or whatever. But my wife was calming her down, saying like, "Oh, we do them at the high school too." And she's like, "Actually, the principal lets a kid pull it, I guess they were fine with it." But she's like, "Yeah, they got out in like 2 minutes and 15 seconds." And I'm like, "Oh, I remember watching Kindergarten Cop." And when Arnold Schwarzenegger is like taking over this kindergarten class, and he's like grabbing kids by the belt, and like everybody else is coming out single file.
It's not
but I think kids at that young age, like they bring the firemen in one day with the big fire trucks, and like, so I think they have a healthy respect. Like
they do.
But by the time they get to be high schoolers, they're like waiting for their friends in the hallway. They're like texting and moving slowly, like zombies down the stairwell. It's like it's definitely devolved from like being
this really heightened sense of like, oh my god, to like we just meet.
The middle school, they start losing it, and then by the time they're in high school, forget about it. It's like it's funny how that it sort of happens as they get older. But
producer and friend Neil Wood here. Brief commercial break.
I'm Alejandro Morales.
And I'm Rachel Peters.
And we're the hosts of
We're Dating,
a show about love.
Like we are crazies match, but they're opposite. And like relationships.
Dating.
Very weird and fueled by a lot of tequila.
I don't think so,
Because I was at a point in my life where I was like in my early 20s and I was so lost. And maybe this is good, maybe this is bad. He was also maybe like trying to find himself as well.
Sex. Lots of sex.
I'm a side. That's when you don't really like mouth and hand stuff.
Subscribe now on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and more.
Seriously, Dad? Seriously?
I'm just grateful that my daughters now aren't at the age where we have to worry about them having like cell phones in school, because that's always a top.
That's always going to be a thing. It's always going to be.
There's groups of parents out there, and if you look on, stories in the news and stuff like that, parents who want their kids to have phones in school, because even the parents get reliant. Like there's all sorts of things now where parents are at this pace where they're like, it's like a mental health concern parenting now, because they want to stay in touch with their kids all the time. They're almost too attentive.
Parents are just as dependent on the phone when it comes to monitoring and communicating with their children as the children is dependent on the phone.
It's just this helicopter. It's just, it's too much. And because, at the same time too, I get it. Like a lot of them have that Life 360 or whatever, where like they know where their kids are at any given moment.
Yeah.
So I get that. But at the same time, like, it's so valuable to me having the 47 minutes in class with them not having their phones on them. Right. I feel like, they can't, their focus is crazy because they're so used to looking. I was playing a game where they had to spell, we're doing the alphabet, and they had to go down the line. They're each responsible for a letter in the word. And so 28 kids in the class, but by the time it would go up and down, some of them was like, what? A squirrel? What?
Yeah.
And so
can't tell a kid that they can't talk to their parent, right?
Well, if you really needed it, also write them a pass and they go to the office and they can call them in the office phone. Because like there was a story or like even a TikTok thing I saw with Jalen Rose, former NBA star, which I thought was
Jalen Rose.
Jalen Rose.
Fab Five.
he started a charter school, and he's like the head of this charter school, and he was, putting TikToks out there about how he was having the kids know phones, and they were like, well, how are we going to get each other's numbers? He's like, there's a thing called pen and paper. And he's like, so, because there's this concept of if there's an emergency, but 9/11 happened, there were people weren't having cell phones, and like we all survived. The New York City schools all survived. Like, you trust the adults. You can get in touch. There's no need. There's more damage being done by having that kid having that phone during class. Then I don't care if they have it, but it needs to be away or in one of those
during class. During class is different. Like they should give their undivided attention. But I'm a little concerned if the parents are just as dependent and they over communicate with their children. When we were younger, we left at summertime, especially you left at 8 and you're home by like 9, and that was what it was. And you would end up with places you shouldn't have been. But now the parents, they always need to know what their kids are doing, and they're always kind of like, so now you're going to be teachers work and principals work and whatever, and they're going to be getting phone calls. Can you let Jay know that I have his water and his cleats, and I'll meet him so and so after school? Then you're going to get another phone call. Could you let Cassandra know that she's not going to cheerleading today? She's going to the doctor's office immediately, and you're just going to be fielding those stupid calls all day, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's that. I don't know if they have their Chromebook stuff. Send them an email and let them know, or like, hey, why wasn't this communicated beforehand? Like they should know before they leave their house.
Yeah, well, you're like educating the whole family about communication.
It's like how do you not leaving the house without like knowing? Like we have a Google Calendar. Like even my daughter, like she's always looking at the Google Calendar to see like when she has cheer or when she has whatever, because she has like cheer practice like once or twice a week, a game on the weekend. Yeah. So she's always looking for that stuff. So, I don't know. The world's existed without it. And I don't know why all of a sudden you can't. Like you're at work, you should be at work. Kids at school, this is like training them for being in the workforce. Like,
this pushback from parents. Sorry, go ahead.
No, hit it, bro.
I was going to say, because they actually even had some numbers and like statistics they came, but yeah, the pushback, it even come down to like, you're kind of keeping us out of our kids' education. Like this was a report from CNN that they were like, you guys actually hit it. You didn't even read this, but you were like, you had more direct access with your kids during COVID on lockdown, right? Like you had that access, then that was taken away. Parents are panicking. Why don't I don't know where my kid is, right? I don't know exactly where they are at every single moment or have access to them. So there's a piece of that. They was saying over a decade ago, 90% of public schools prohibited cell phone use. That sank down to 65% in 2015 and 16 in those school years. And then by 2019, 2020, school year bans were in place of they had school bans in 76% of schools for cell phone use. And a lot of this it seems like they're just trying to come back after COVID, that the teachers like yourself, Jay, are trying to be like, we need to get back to normal school.
Just need the distraction. Like even with their Chromebook, because I was the Chromebook, I'm standing behind a kid and he's like on this game, like just mindlessly doing something, and so I find myself in class. I'm like, okay, guys, for those of you that have been tuning me out, the YouTube pop-up's over. I need you to come back. We're back to the main show. Like, because anytime I transition, I know even if I just took 4 minutes to talk about like, I don't know, we're talking about Spain, and there's no way to be entertaining enough for these kids to be locked in because they can't. They're like,
you're not competing with the internet or a cell phone, no matter what you're talking about.
We're using the internet nonstop. I took them on like these VR field trips. I use all this cool stuff, but it's just not enough because they can do whatever they want whenever they want. And
grown-ups are at work getting paid.
Yeah.
To pay their mortgages and feed their children. They're on their goddamn phones.
Well, that's it. Just with the workforce, we're working from home now.
They're on their phones.
Do all that shit.
Yeah, they're playing on TikTok. They're shopping at Amazon at 9 a.m. They're doing that. So how are you gonna get some kid? How you get some fucking kid to be like, hey, I want to hear about the conquistadors? Go ahead, Mr. Yoder.
Honestly, the way education's going, we're just fighting this uphill battle. We can't win because it's just like you can't teach them the way you were teaching them before, but we're stuck in a system that doesn't allow you to change fast. Like education,
Change is very slow. It's like politics. It takes a long time for something.
There was a video I saw once where it was like it followed the automotive industry, it followed the medical, field, and it followed education, and it showed
and the strides in education are flat as could be, right?
70s, 80s, dude. The education one did not look that different, but like when you looked at the automotive, when you looked at the medical, like.
Well, I mean, they're still learning. They're still learning the same way you and I learned. Yes, there's differences, right? There's the internet, but it's still
you're doing more collaboration,
right?
I mean, the TikTok video that I did that went viral on that podcast was me talking about a project where I gave the kids like, "Hey, you each get $2,000. You're going to this country. Here's the month you can go. Now show me how you're going to spend that $2,000 and how long you can stay." And like you can do stuff like that where now, they're using all of the internet, they're booking their flights and their Ubers to the airport and they're, and so you can do stuff like that to try to keep them engaged and try to make it real world application. They're, but at the same time, it's like if you taught students the way that, if you taught students the way you learned yesterday, you're going to rob them of tomorrow. There's like, that's always kind of stuck with me. That's like, we do have to be mindful of the differences, but at the same time, they need information. They need to be able to, not even that they need information, they need to know how to process all of the information out there. They need someone to help them, like, all this data coming in. They need someone there as a facilitator. That's what a teacher really is. It's a facilitator. I'm a community member who's here to help you process and figure out whatever subject I teach and make sure that you'll be able to do whatever you need to in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that just the comfort blanket, this is just a comfort blanket. I'm starting to think of this almost as like for parents and students as well. Like you had a certain thing and the pandemic messed up everything. Like, right. It put a focus on certain things. And then now we've pulled them away. And then Jay's sitting there being like, are we at school right now? Or are we at home? You don't have your phone because we're trying to teach you life skills. Like this isn't home. You came to school. Like it's pretty wild.
And some of them, if they don't see so it's just, it's like, and kids will be kids too. So there's that aspect of it. They have extra access to all this stuff now. Like,
know all
the things now.
Well, there's also the attention span thing, right? Of like, oh, I'm supposed to, not span, but like I'm supposed to be paying attention to school, but I'm paying attention to my computer. And then there's the quality of the information that they're getting, right? The truthfulness of it, the quality of it, right? Like, are they not listening to you, but listening to something else that's educational and stimulating, or are they not listening to you and then they're listening to someone tell them that the earth is flat?
Well, that's why you have to build. That's why the relationship is huge. Like teacher, student, like they have to trust you so that they're willing to. They know that what you're doing is putting them on the right path. So, that's a big piece. You got to have trust. That's why I put out a video before school even starts. I got like over 100 and some views, and I only have 80 students, but I sent it to the parents too. And it was just a quick 3-minute video of me at my kitchen table. My daughter I talked about my daughter briefly, and I showed her because she heard me talking about her. And it was just this kind of quick little improv video of me at my kitchen table welcoming them to the year because I wanted to build rapport. I wanted them to know, like, hey, I have their best interest in mind. I don't expect you to learn anything from me until you trust me and you know who I am and what I'm about. And I think if you approach it from that angle, then even when you have to scold them or give them some discipline, like I've had to do that this week. Like I had a kid have his earbuds in. We were doing that spelling game. He was like the 27th student. It got to him and he's like, huh? And I'm like, dude, get out. I just said, get out. That's all I did. I just said, get out. And then he got out. We finished the game. I made them start spelling at their tables. And I went outside. I'm like, dude, I don't even have to say anything, right? Like that.
What's up with you?
I was like, that was ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
So then I had the new rule of your phones have to be in the cubbies, and that means you're in a class where you have to listen to a foreign language. You can't have something obstructing and like you might as well be standing on a desk giving me the middle finger. if you're gonna have stuff in your ear during my class.
Which is most of what how people treat teachers
So
anymore.
like
they
put their phones on the cubby, but now they already have their music on.
You would have hated me, Jay. You would have fucking hated me. Like I wasn't that bad, but that wasn't good.
Go home then. Like send me home. Yeah. I'm gonna go home. You don't need me. Go home.
Right.
Yeah. The kids are on their phone looking up TikTok trends like the Tanguli, the Takahuli candy thing. This is the thing I was telling you guys about, like the
candy shit, right?
Yeah, Jolly Rancher.
So it's Hulu. It's Tang and Hulu. So Tanghuli. Tanghulu, I guess. But yeah, here I'll pull it up so you guys can see it. It's interesting.
I think I see where like it was a 9-year-old boy like
it melts on his skin or some shit.
Melted on it, and the mom had to like peel it off, and it was like peeling his skin off.
Whoa, yeah, it's just
nerve damage.
It's a traditional Chinese snack, obscured candy coated fruit, and apparently the TikTok trend is making it. And I'm just going to show there's like a surgeon here. Unfortunately, later this didn't go well. That's what Jay was going to find. Was you said there was a young boy got burned, I guess, apparently. And this is
because you heat it up to like 350 degrees or something.
Yeah,
and then like if it boiled and it popped off on his finger, and then they had to peel it off because it had peeled the skin off and did nerve damage. But if she left it on, it would have done even worse. Imagine peeling your kid's skin off, and you're like, yeah.
That was the best thing to do. God damn.
Really messed up. Yeah, and then you're arguing with people about their phones, trying to get them to have common sense.
They're not listening to him talk, and then they're learning how to do tequilo.
Yeah, tequila. They're doing the Tanquerays over there. They're drinking Tanqueray.
Well, we have Pop Rocks and soda was our devil back in
Mentos and Diet Coke and shit. And they're not listening to him, and then they're doing fucking that bullshit, and they're burning the shit out of themselves, man.
Yeah.
I remember when I was younger, I used to steal thermometers from the science class or in the lab, and I would break them and play with the mercury. Jesus. I don't think that was a good thing.
Oh no!
No, you get mercury poisoning.
What would you do with the mercury?
I don't know.
Play with mercury mean?
I would just like put it in like a thing and move it around, and it would be in my hand, and then I would like kind of like lose it in the carpet. And then
so bad. It explains a lot.
I know I should not have been doing that. And then they started using this red shit. It wasn't even mercury, so I couldn't even have phones.
Yeah.
Everybody, welcome to the segment of Albert telling you how not to play with chemicals.
That's right.
Huge.
Yeah. So hey, when I listen to a parent and they're complaining about something, I'm like, well, you probably played with mercury back in school.
Exactly, that's what it is. You played with mercury.
You probably gave your kid third degree burns trying to do a TikTok trend. Yeah. But hey, I get it. I mean, parents are trying to connect with their kids and trying to do their best, and now we're exposed to so much, so we all think we can try new things.
People make that shit look easy. They probably make it look so easy on the internet. They're like, they're dancing and pouring this shit.
Yeah.
They're making it look all fucking simple. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I mean, it goes into, I guess, the report that we read with like the CNN just saying that, are we surprised the parents are the most stressed? Are we surprised?
It's stressful as fuck.
Hot candy boiling kids. You got people fighting over cell phones in schools.
Poisoning, kids bringing mercury into the
No, that was just you, Albert.
I wasn't.
You're
really
the only one
did it too, so
that was allowed to play with mercury.
I think it was a.
Well, are you gonna do your take the girls to school the first day on Tuesday?
Yeah, I'll be there the first day of school. Yep, I don't really miss that, and I get really sad all the time. I get emotional, and that's what the fuck it is, and I'll be there.
I'm excited now for the girls because the dog will get to send them off in the morning, and then we'll be out there with the dog when they get back. So it'll be a fun little thing, and it's good. Now we're walking. I put like at least 10,000 steps in today, so.
There you go.
With all the steps and activity and the dog now, it sounds like you're like a prairie home companion. You sound like you're like, I got to till the Milano fields. And
you don't go away as much. Like as a family.
Hey, you look good, buddy. Everything looks like it's working. I know we got to come into the end and start plugging some stuff, but you look great. I'm so happy.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel really good. I'm like, we have all day tomorrow. I got nothing on the count. I probably hit John and Peter's up tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna go?
No, I will actually be in Salem, Massachusetts. I'm doing some spooky. Yeah, I'm just going up there, doing some witch museum stuff and that kind of fun stuff.
Oh, my wife and I did that. We loved it up there.
Okay, well then I might bug you for a rec or something like that if you got some cool spots.
Yeah, there's some great places up there.
Oh, perfect. Where do you guys got coming up? I know Albert's got a show coming up as well.
Punchline Philadelphia.
You seem excited.
I am excited. I'm thinking I've got Punchline Philadelphia.
September 25th.
Yeah, I'll be at Bushwick Comedy Club October 26th, I think.
Nice.
Jad Slay,
you with Jad,
right?
Yep. I got I'm doing a show with Rob Stanton friends out there in the.
Oh, you and me both. We're doing at the Media Theater on the 20th.
Yes. Oh, we're both headlining at the same place soon. But
yeah, I'm gonna be there. Well, this will already have aired, but I'm there this Thursday up in Bethlehem or Godfrey Daniels.
Yeah, I'm gonna come try. I've never been there before. I'm gonna come try to check you out if I can.
I'll be up with board teachers up in New England the following week on the 12th, 13th, 14th, and then there's this backyard thing that was woman. If you know Meredith Steyer, she had taken the class at Soul Joel's, and she's been. I don't know if you know Rashid Wesley Jr.
Yes.
But they go to a lot of things together. They're doing like this backyard event that she just put out, which I think is on the September 14th. So they're doing like all day event. It looks kind of cool. So got that going on. And then the end of the month, I'm at Santander, the Performing Arts Center again with board teachers on Sunday the 29th at 3:00. And I got a bunch of stuff. I'm going to be going to the Carlson up in Rochester.
Oh yeah, getting those garbage plates. Good luck up there.
Get that garbage plate. What social medias can everybody get all that information at, guys?
JayYoderComedy.com or Jay Yoder Comedy on all the platforms.
Oh yeah,
Albert Davis Comedy.
Thank you, Albert. Albert Davis Comedy, Instagram.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Check it out, yeah, boy.
You can check me out at IamNeilwood.com. Thanks, Albert, for doing the show. Albert was just on Myers. I have some dates coming up as well. I have a date. You better be available. Jay's going to hopefully be October Wissahick, and I hope, I got some dates after, so we'll talk. But this is a great podcast.
Good stuff, man. Everyone have a great school year. We'll talk to you a couple weeks.
Happy Labor Day. See you next time.
Peace.
Seriously, Dad.
Thank you for listening to the Dads. For once, give these daddies a break. And maybe follow, subscribe, like, and comment to the Dads on Instagram and YouTube at SeriouslyDadPod. Rate and review Seriously Dad Podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Seriously, Dad.
Hey, how you doing? This is Neil Wood, one of the co-owners of Drop 10 Media Network and who helps run Biggest Little Comedy. You can check out all the other stuff we do at drop10.com. We've got podcasts, live comedy shows, and so much more. Go over there, support your favorite podcasts, follow them, subscribe. We appreciate it. Again, we're 100% DIY, just a bunch of creatives trying to make it in this, and give us some feedback. We always enjoy a little feedback. Thanks.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.